There we go. Okay, so what we're going to be studying now is Arthur. Your reading assignment tonight is pages 242 to 249 in the textbook. Now, that has some pictures in there, and it's got some half pages, but you're going to be reading the Siege of Benwick. Okay? The Siege of Benwick. I guess I can put that on for you if you want to see. All right? Okay. Now, here's the thing. You can take your notes out because you need to take notes. I'm not going to be putting this up in classroom for you. We're going to be charting the evolution of the hero from Beowulf to King Arthur. Historically, they took place in a similar time. Beowulf was maybe told around the year 600. The stories of King Arthur are set from around the year 500 to 600. So they're around the same time, but the stories of King Arthur were written much, much later in history. They were written the year 1400 and something. Okay? So you have a big difference in time. And the bit of Christianity that you see in Beowulf has become a full-grown thing in Arthurian legend. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the Beowulf and compare it to what happens in Arthur. Now, if you remember correctly, Beowulf's time, there was noble blood, noble family, right? And then they were brave or foolish and proud or boastful. That's what Beowulf was, right? And we all remember that. But it changes over time. The influence of Christianity, the evolution of society changes this. It makes the people who lived in that time, the noble people in that time, they needed a code to live by so that they would not be terrible to all the people under them. So they would not be tyrants. So it changed. Where Beowulf praised himself, they, in this new modern time, praised other people. They would call them, even as they were being beaten, they would say, "Oh, you are the most amazing knight ever." And they would praise others. And that's how that was different. They still had noble blood. They still came from noble families. They were still brave or foolish. But their attitude changed somewhat. This continues in the other categories. They had to seek glory or defend the helpless in the Beowulf time. And they were fighters and leaders in the Beowulf time. And then they were superior. Remember, superior. Beowulf was very strong. He could tear the arm off of Grendel, right? Well, this transforms. Again, Christianity seeps into the stories, the psychology, the political structure of everything of England. And it changes. Now they seek glory for others and defend the helpless. They seek glory for others and defend the helpless. They are still fighters or leaders. In fact, they must be leaders. And then they are superior, but they are limited. And in this case, Beowulf could go underwater for hours and hours and hours and not die. His blood could come gushing up into the water and him not die. He could pull the arm off of Grendel. He was super tall. In the Arthurian stories, there's one character named Sir Gawain. And there's a movie recently, Gawain and the Green Knight. Same guy. This guy, from maybe 9 in the morning to 12 noon, for 3 hours, he gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And then afternoon, he starts to get weaker and weaker and weaker. So he has power, he has some kind of strength, but it's not like Beowulf. Beowulf is almost a god, comparatively, right? Gawain has just got a lot of strength. There's one knight named Lancelot. Very famous knight, the most famous knight. You cannot beat Lancelot. There's just no way to beat him unless he wants you to beat him. Sometimes he loses on purpose, so other people feel good about themselves. But he doesn't get beaten if he doesn't want. But he's not superhuman in any way. He's not super strong. He's not super endurance. He's just the best knight. Okay? So basically, these knights are basically Thor again. But Thor had to be a man, not a god, and he was chivalrous. Chivalrous is the adjective for chivalry. Now you might say to yourself, what is chivalry? You might even ask me, Mr. Hodgins, what is chivalry? I will tell you. Don't worry. We'll talk about it in a minute. Okay? So these are what happened to the hero in this 1,000 years or 800 years of society developing. The stories are set in about the same time, but the world looks totally different. The world of Beowulf is dark and scary and bloody and full of monsters. The world of King Arthur looks like this guy. So beautiful and almost angelic and idyllic, like an ideal, a dream almost. These themes also changed. They transformed just a little bit. Okay, so the themes, and by the way, the story is called La Morte d'Arthur, the death of Arthur. It's a French title, but it was written in English. I don't know why the guy, Thomas Mallory, used French, but he did. Back in Beowulf's time, immortality through fame, right? Fame made you immortal. Fame made you live forever, right? Everyone would talk about you. You. Beowulf, 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 right? Gold protected you from misfortune, right? That's why you got gold. It protected you against fate. And then you had loyalty to your ring giver, right? Your king, your ring giver. Those were the three characteristics that were common in Beowulf's time. Again, Christianity comes in. The rules for society change. And suddenly, you have a legacy through great deeds. You don't work for your own glory. You do great deeds to make the world better. For instance, Beowulf only wanted to kill Grendel for his glory. He did not want to kill Grendel to make life better for the Danes. I mean, yes, sure, that was okay, but that's not why he was doing it. On the other hand, a knight from this time period, from the King Arthur time period, would not go to gain just glory from killing Grendel, but also to save the people from being hurt by Grendel. Not individual purpose. Yes, it's much more about a bigger thing, not only the individual anymore. Chivalry is protection against dishonor. Gold is not the thing anymore. Chivalry is the protection. Mr. Hodgins, that's that word chivalry again. I don't understand. What is chivalry? Don't worry. I'll tell you. All right? So, but it protects you from dishonor. Dishonor is the worst thing. Dishonor is the worst thing. And then loyalty to a king, the ring giver, and to a code, a system of beliefs. Okay, in this case it was chivalry, a part of which was, we'll discuss in a second, but loyalty to a king and to a code. The code is bigger than just one person. The code is a belief system about something larger. Okay? Okay, finally, let's talk about chivalry. Okay? Chivalry is a set of ideals that are kind of encapsulated in what we just talked about. But the basic tenets of chivalry are courage, honor, courtesy, justice, and readiness to help the weak. Okay? Courage, you had to be brave. That sounds like the hero, right? Honor, you had to be honorable. Now, we think of honor as being self-respect, but honor means more than just that. You have to protect your honor with all your life. For instance, if Andy challenges me to a fight, if I refuse, I lose my honor.
It's dishonor.
Yeah, it's dishonorable. Even if, there's no reason for me to accept. Now, if I'm Lancelot and he's some small knight, then maybe I don't have to, because it would be dishonorable to beat up such a low person, right? But if he's like, if you won't fight me, you're a coward, and I will tell everyone that you are afraid of me, then to defend my honor, I must fight. Honor is very strict that way.
Then the chivalry is like mind of soldier.
Say again?
Mind of soldier.
Not necessarily mind of a soldier, but it is very aggressive that way. Yes.
To be a honorable soldier, there is condition of must be challenge and risk.
Yeah, you cannot back away from a challenge. You cannot back away from danger. You must confront it, right? Okay? Courtesy, though. You have to be courteous. You must be courteous to your guests. You must be courteous to your enemies, right? That's an odd thing to do, but you must be courteous to your enemies, okay? You must seek justice, and then you must help the weak. Many of these themes seem very similar to what we saw from the Beowulf period, but they have been transformed to make a set of rules for people to live by so that they will be a benefit to society. Kings and queens and princes and lords who only think about themselves are the most terrible thing in the world. And so these ideals came about to help make that better. They're not laws, but they are cultural things. Okay? Now, the first division, there are 3 ways to divide this. The first is warrior chivalry. Okay? There's the whole idea of the fighting part. And a knight's loyalty is to his lord. Not Demunja Lord, Somunja Lord. All right? Not Lord God in heaven, but the supervisor Lord. Okay?
The king, the honor of.
King is the top lord, yes, but then there are lords under also.
The honor of one castle.
Yeah, a lord of the castle, sure. Okay, and that's the first. And that's very similar. That's pretty similar to what Beowulf had, right? So he was loyal to Hrothgar when he was there, right? But there's more to that than in chivalry. There's the religious chivalry. Religious chivalry is a knight's loyalty to protect the innocent and serve God. And this is an evolution of what you see a little bit of in Beowulf. It's more serving God than protecting the innocent. The innocent died in battle, so they were considered brave and good. So, and then of course, if you were just a poor person, then yes, it was sad and terrible. But that did not mean that Beowulf would go fight for you, right? So, a knight's loyalty is to protect God or protect the innocent and serve God. Loyalty to the king, loyalty to the weak and to God. And then the last one, which is the most complicated and strangest of all, courtly love. Now this one's strange. Courtly love is you swear your loyalty to one specific woman, and then you protect women generally. What a knight will do is a knight will go to a woman a queen or a princess or some lady of a castle, and he will say, I love you. Let me go fight in your name. And then the woman would say, oh, yes, please. And then she would give him a ribbon to tie around his arm or his lance, his spear. He would go off and he would fight. Knights, monsters, whatever. And then he would not kill them. He would beat them, and then he would pick them up and he would say, now, you must go to my lady and tell her I beat you. And you must say good things about me. And they would. The guy would be like, oh, all right, I'll go. Oh. And then he would get to the castle. I was beaten by your knight, Sir Andy. He really kicked my butt. He's so strong. He's an amazing knight. She gains honor. The knight gains honor from this. Now, there's one thing about this courtly love, though. That's a big difference between normal love. Because you can swear your love even to a married woman. The thing is, all of these courtly love situations are chaste. They are pure. The man and the woman never touch each other. It is only courtly love. It is never physical love. And that is where King Arthur's court was in danger. Because he married Guinevere. Lancelot, that best knight I told you about, Lancelot says, I love you, Guinevere. I fight in your honor. Hachiman. He actually does fall in love. And she falls in love back. And they have sex. And that betrayal, that destruction of loyalty, destroys King Arthur's court. It destroys this paradisical paradise time when everything was good. And it's ruined because the most unbeatable knight was not perfect. He was not the perfect knight. So, courtly love has a very interesting history. Okay. So that is a very quick overview of the environment that you're going to see when you read 242 to 249 tonight. Okay? Pay attention to chivalry. Pay attention to what these heroes do, how they talk to each other, how they behave with each other. Okay? See where they are acting like heroes that you are familiar with. See how they are acting like heroes that are very strange. Okay? It is a very different world, even though the timing is almost the same. Okay? All right. In that case, you guys are free to go. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. Go outside. See something beautiful. All right?